My bridesmaid decided to test Carter with 3 simple questions before the ceremony. I thought he'd ace them easily. I never expected him to get the very first one wrong. What's Chloe's shoe size? Without a second thought, he blurted out, size 6. What's her favorite color? Blue. An awkward silence fell over the bridal suite. Everyone exchanged nervous glances. He was wrong on both. Then came the final question. What year did Chloe graduate from college? Everyone relaxed, thinking there was no way he could mess this up. After all, we were college sweethearts. 2013, Carter said confidently. I made her a custom pair of crystal heels. As a graduation gift that year. I'm 100% sure. My gaze drifted to Haley, my maid of honor, who was wearing a dusty blue bridesmaid dress and sparkling crystal heels. She bit her lip, whispering to Carter in a small, tense voice. Chloe graduated in 2012. I was the one who graduated in 2013. In that split second, everything clicked. The last lingering doubt in my heart vanished. I let out a cold, quiet laugh. Looked down at my phone and texted my parents. Mom, Dad, get the car ready. I'm calling off the wedding. The room was so quiet you could hear a pin drop. My bad. I mixed up the years. It was 2012, Carter corrected himself coldly, acting as if it was no big deal. Haley quickly forced a smile to break the tension. Carter's just been super stressed about the wedding planning lately. It's normal to get a little confused. Don't make a scene. All our friends and family are waiting downstairs. Instantly, the other bridesmaids chimed in, trying to appease me. Yeah, babe, it's your big day. Smile a little. You can punish him tonight. Don't let a silly mistake ruin the ceremony. I thought I was overreacting, but only I knew that Carter had changed. Years ago, if I so much as frowned, he would immediately panic, doing whatever it took, buying me gifts. Telling stupid jokes just to make me smile. But now his eyes were glued to my best friend and he couldn't seem to look away. Fine, let's go, I said. I didn't want to make things awkward. For the guests who had flown in from across the country. I followed the itinerary and let Carter carry me out to the car. He lifted me, he laughed and said, have you been stress eating lately? You definitely feel heavier than 110 pounds. 110 pounds. That was Haley's weight. She had just bragged about it on her Insta yesterday. Have you been carrying someone who weighs 110 pounds lately? I asked casually. Carter stiffened. He quickly shook his head, of course not. Don't be paranoid. Right then Haley jumped in, eager to clarify. Oh, actually, I'm 120 pounds now, so it's definitely not me. I looked down, hiding my moxie off. Guilty people always scream the loudest, I thought. I wanted to see how long they could keep up this pathetic show. Inside the cramped sports car, Haley insisted on squeezing in, sitting right between Carter and me. You don't mind, do you, Chloe? The other shuttle cars are totally full. Let's just squeeze. I didn't say a word the entire ride. Haley chattered away, looking far more excited than the actual bride. And Carter answered her every word. It made me feel like the third wheel at my own wedding. As we rounded a corner, Haley suddenly tapped Carter's shoulder. Carter, I'm dying for those honey lavender cupcakes from that bakery uptown. Sure, I'll grab some for you. With that, Carter spun the steering wheel, taking a sharp turn in the exact opposite direction of the wedding venue. My brows furrowed. Carter, stop. We don't have time. That bakery is 10 miles away. The ceremony starts in an hour. We're going to be late. He glared at me through the rearview mirror. It's on the way. Buying cupcakes takes 2 minutes. You're just being petty because of those trivia questions. I bit my lip so hard I tasted blood, clenching my fist to keep from crying when he got my graduation year wrong, and I stayed quiet. I was ruining the mood. But when Haley wanted cupcakes from across town, it was on the way. Fine. If he wasn't in a rush, neither was I. After all, I had no intention of marrying him. Anyway, my phone buzzed, a text from my parents. Sweetheart, the SUV is parked by the side entrance of the venue. We're ready when you are. I don't care for sweets, so I just stood near the bakery entrance watching them. The baker was incredibly friendly and offered Haley a sample of their new flavor. Haven't seen you and your boyfriend in a while. You guys look so fancy today, going to a gala. Haley blushed, pointing a manicured finger toward me. It's my best friend's wedding today. I'm her maid of honor. The baker's smile froze. He looked back and forth between the three of us, expression turning highly uncomfortable. Oh, my bad, he apologized awkwardly. You two come in for afternoon tea so often. I just assumed you were a couple. I didn't realize there was a third party. The third party he was referring to was, without a doubt, me. I waited for Carter to speak up and defend me, but he didn't. Didn't care at all. Instead, he bought every single flavor of cupcakes they had, walking out with 3 giant shopping bags. I made one passing comment, don't waste food if you can't finish them. And just like that, Haley burst into tears. Chloe, I know this isn't about the cupcakes, she sobbed. Sounding incredibly fragile. You're just mad because Carter spent money on me. I'm so sorry. She shakily pulled $200 bills from her purse and tried to force them into my hand. That was the final straw for Carter's patience. His jaw tightened and he looked at me with pure disgust. Chloe, do you have any sense of the bigger picture? It's our wedding day and you're choosing now to throw a tantrum. Haley is your best friend. It's completely normal for me to buy her some treats. Normal? I looked at her, I wanted to laugh. LV bag on her shoulder, the Cartier necklace she was wearing, the designer heels on her feet. Carter had bought every single one of them. Meanwhile, in our 7 years of dating, the most expensive gift I had ever received from him was the electric toothbrush. Even the outdated wedding dress I was wearing today was a cheap rental I paid for myself. I had never asked Carter for a single dime. I used to think that by not caring about his money, I would get his pure, unadulterated love. How naive. In the end, I got neither. Carter, don't blame Chloe, Haley pleaded, playing the saint. It's her first time being a bride, so she's probably just anxious. Please don't fight because of me. You know, my parents got a messy divorce and all I want is for you guys to be happy. I stared at Haley. In that moment, my heart felt like it was being stabbed by 1,000 needles. The year her parents divorced, she couldn't sleep for months. I was the one who stayed up with her, washed her clothes and held her hand through her darkest times. I never expected her to stab me in the back like this. Yeah, whatever you say, I murmured. It took me a long time to pull myself out of my memories. By the time my vision cleared, the tears on my face had already dried. Back in the car, silence fell over us, but it didn't last long because Haley was thirsty again. Carter, these cupcakes are kind of dry. I really need an iced matcha latte. Her voice got quieter with every word. Her eyes darting to my face to check my reaction, but my face was blank. Carter hesitated for a second. Haley, we are actually running really late. But he quickly pivoted. If you're thirsty, let's grab one fast. Just then, Carter's phone started ringing off the hook. Carter, where the hell are you? The guests are all seated. We're just waiting on you and Chloe. Carter ignored the calls, hit the gas and sped toward the nearest Starbucks. When he and Haley came back to the car, there was a bright red mark on Carter's neck. Noticing my stare, panic flashed through his eyes and he quickly covered it with his hand. Bugs around here are crazy. Haley blushed and nodded. Yeah, Chloe, the mosquitoes are so bad. You don't think it's something else, do you? I shook my head. Must be a really desperate female mosquito biting people like a shameless animal. Their faces instantly turned pale. Excuse me, I need a cigarette, Carter muttered, stepping out of the car. A few yards away from the car, Carter looked incredibly anxious. He whispered to Haley, do you think she knows? Haley took the cigarette right out of his mouth and took a drag. No way. She loves you too much. Even if she suspects something, she'll forgive you. I know her. She's soft-hearted. Years ago when I got dumped, she literally skipped her finals and flew 1,000 miles just to comfort me. I didn't want to hurt her either, but I fell for you. Her sweet words were too much for him. Carter blushed all the way down to his collar. I watched them through the tinted car window. Their silhouettes stretched by the afternoon sun looked so intimate. The two people I loved most in the world had hurt me the deepest. I had spent years catering to them. It was time to wake up. I looked down and called the HR director of my family's conglomerate, Vance Group. Hi, Audrey. You asked me what I wanted as a wedding gift, right? I want you to fire Haley effective immediately. Because she had failed multiple classes in college, Haley couldn't find a decent job after graduation. I practically begged my father to pull strings and get her into Vance Group. In just 3 years. She went from a receptionist to a junior project manager, her salary jumping from $40K to $150K. I paved every single step of her career. But to protect her fragile ego, I kept my family's identity a secret, letting her believe she achieved it all on her own merit. Now it was time to take back what was mine. When Carter got back in the car, perhaps out of guilt, he handed me a cup of black coffee. I grabbed this while waiting for the matcha. I know you hate sweet drinks. I didn't. Take it. He shook the cup, getting annoyed. Take it. We don't have time for this. I ignored him. Are you seriously still throwing a fit over some cupcakes and matcha? She's your best friend. Are you even human being this jealous of her? Carter was always so incredibly harsh with me. He would never dream of speaking to Haley like this. Chloe, I've been exhausted for weeks planning this wedding. Can you please grow up? Don't make me deal with your attitude on my wedding day. I nodded, swallowing my tears. Thank you. My voice was polite, cold and distant. But it seemed to reassure Carter. He turned on the radio and laughed with Haley all the way to the venue. He didn't notice the black Maybach parked near the side entrance of the hotel. He should have recognized the license plate. It belonged to my family. But his eyes were only on Haley, who had just tripped on her dress. Haley, are you okay? Haley pouted, looking pitiful. This bridesmaid dress is too long. I tripped. Carter shot me a glaring look. This is your fault. Why did you have to pick such a long style? He forgot that Haley was the one who insisted on this specific design. She's hurt. I'll carry her to the bridal suite first. Find your own way up. Before I could answer, he swept Haley into his arms and walked straight toward the elevator. I gathered up my heavy train and slowly made my way to the bridal suite. I could have left right then, but if I was going to run, I had to take my makeup artist with me. I was the one paying her after all. When I finally pushed the door open, the scene inside shocked me. The celebrity makeup artist I had booked 2 years in advance was currently being scolded by Carter. Like a child. She looked like she was on the verge of tears. Perfect timing, Carter said, dumping a pile of cosmetics onto the vanity. Haley said you gave the artist a different contract. You used the premium high-end products for yourself and left her with cheap knockoff brands. I stared at them speechless. What kind of drama was this? Now Haley wiped her eyes, fake apologizing. I'm sorry, Chloe. I shouldn't have said anything. I didn't mean to steal your spotlight. I'll just go wash my face. I can go barefaced for the wedding. Really? I scoffed. I never told the artist to do that, and I would never do something so petty. But Carter didn't believe me. He thought I was just acting out. Chloe, this reverse psychology is getting pathetic. Do you really think playing hard to get is going to make me beg for your forgiveness? I shook my head. I don't need you to beg. What is up with your attitude? Just because I got Haley some treats, you do this. You made her cry. You need to apologize to her right now. Why should I apologize for something I didn't do? Frustrated, Carter gripped my shoulders. His grip was so tight it bruised. Chloe, I don't have time for your games. The ceremony starts in 30 minutes. Apologize now, or I'm calling off this wedding. I smiled for the first time today. A real smile spread across my face. Carter still thought he could threaten me. He had no idea. I didn't care anymore. Okay. My nonchalant response pissed him off even more. He was about to yell when Haley quickly stopped him. Carter, please don't. It's your wedding day. It's all my fault. Go downstairs and greet the guests. I'll handle things here. Carter hesitated, then nodded before leaving. He gave me one last disappointed look. Why can't you be more mature like Haley? As soon as the door closed, I turned to my makeup artist and whispered a few words. She immediately started packing up her kit. Haley, thinking we were just moving to another room, waved her hand dismissively. Whatever. I don't care. Let her get her makeup done first. The makeup artist just rolled her eyes at Haley's delusion. 30 minutes later, the grand ballroom was filled with music and laughter. The officiant gave a beautiful opening speech, then looked toward the grand entrance with excitement. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please stand for our beautiful bride. 3. Under the spotlight, Carter nervously adjusted his bow tie. 2. A bead of sweat rolled down his temple as he probably pictured our future together. 1. The heavy door swung open, but there was no one there. The officiant gasped, looking at Carter's back, and whispered, Where is the bride? Carter spun around. The hallway was completely empty. In that moment, sheer panic set in. Carter's smile vanished. What do you mean she's not here? The wedding coordinator rushed down the hallway, checking every room. She was in the bridal suite 30 minutes ago. Haley's face drained of color. She couldn't have left. Carter pulled out his phone and called me. The automated voice answered. The number you are trying to reach is unavailable. Blocked. He called again. Blocked. Again. Blocked. For the first time all day, genuine fear appeared in his eyes. Find her, he shouted. Search the entire hotel. Bridesmaids scattered in every direction. My relatives quietly exchanged knowing looks. My parents remained seated without saying a word. 5 minutes later the coordinator ran back, out of breath. Mr. Carter, the bride's dress bag is gone. So is her makeup artist. What? And, there's an envelope addressed to you. His hands trembled as he tore it open. Inside was my engagement ring. Along with a single sheet of paper. Carter. Thank you for proving I made the right decision. You remembered Haley's shoe size. Haley's favorite color. Haley's graduation year. Haley's weight. Her favorite cupcakes. Her favorite drink. You forgot almost everything about the woman you claim to love. You don't need to marry me. You already chose your bride. Chloe. Silence swallowed the ballroom. Every guest slowly turned toward Haley. She looked like she wanted the floor to open beneath her. Someone whispered. So, the groom memorized the maid of honor's measurements? Another guest added. That doesn't sound innocent. Within seconds the whispers became a storm. I knew something looked off. They were together the whole day. No wonder the bride ran. Carter looked at Haley. Then at the letter. Then finally toward my parents. He rushed over. Mr. and Mrs. Vance, please, this is a misunderstanding. I'll explain everything. My father stood. His expression was colder than ice. There is nothing to explain. He took out his phone. Almost immediately, Carter's phone rang. It was his boss. He answered without thinking. Carter, where are you? At my wedding. What wedding? Don't bother coming back to work. His face froze. What? The Vance Group has terminated every contract with your company. Your position has also been eliminated effective immediately. The line went dead. His hands started shaking. Another call came in. This time it was Haley. She answered on speaker by accident. What? She snapped. The HR director's calm voice echoed through the ballroom. Ms. Haley, this is Audrey from Vance Group Human Resources. As of today, your employment has been terminated for serious violations of company ethics. What? Your access has been revoked. Please return all company property by 5 p.m. The call ended. Haley stared blankly at her phone. No. This has to be a joke. She looked toward my father. You own Vance Group? My father didn't even acknowledge her. Instead, he addressed the guests. I apologize for wasting everyone's time today. My daughter discovered the groom and her maid of honor had been carrying on an inappropriate relationship. She chose to leave with her dignity. Lunch has already been paid for. Please enjoy it. The room erupted. So Chloe is the Vance family's daughter? They hid that? Carter cheated on a billionaire's daughter? He threw away everything. Meanwhile, I was already sitting comfortably in my parents' black Maybach, wearing jeans and a sweater. The rented wedding dress had been returned. My makeup artist smiled as she handed me a cup of coffee. You really left him at the altar. I looked out the window. I should have left years ago. Behind us, my phone buzzed nonstop. Over 300 missed calls. Hundreds of messages. Carter. Please answer. I can explain. Nothing happened. I love you. Haley. Chloe, don't destroy my life. Please forgive me. We're sisters. Without reading another word, I deleted both conversations. Then I turned off my phone. Some people deserved forgiveness. They didn't. The Maybach drove away from the hotel. This time, I never looked back. 3 days later, the video of my runaway wedding was everywhere. The clip of the officiant asking, "Where is the bride?" had millions of views. Someone had even leaked the letter I left for Carter. The comments were brutal. So he memorized the maid of honor's measurements instead of the bride's? The bride escaped a disaster. He fumbled the biggest bag of his life. Only then did the internet discover another bombshell. Vance Group publicly announced it had cancelled all partnerships with Carter's company. Within a week, the company's stock plunged. Its board immediately launched an internal investigation. They uncovered that Carter had approved several projects in Haley's department without following proper procedures. Although the projects weren't illegal, they violated company policy. He became the perfect scapegoat. 2 weeks after the cancelled wedding, he was officially fired. The same day, Haley's landlord threw her out. Without her 6-figure salary, she couldn't afford the luxury apartment Carter had insisted she rent. Her designer bags disappeared one by one. Then the Cartier necklace. Then the crystal heels. She sold everything. Ironically, the only person willing to help her was Carter. He rented a tiny 1-bedroom apartment. They moved in together. For the first few days, they convinced themselves everything would work out. We still have each other, Haley said. Carter forced a smile. Yeah. Reality arrived quickly. Bills piled up. Interviews led nowhere. Every recruiter who searched their names found articles about the runaway wedding. No company wanted either of them. Their savings disappeared within 2 months. Arguments became daily. You said Chloe wouldn't leave. Carter shouted one night. You said she'd forgive us. Haley slammed a bowl into the sink. How was I supposed to know she was hiding that she owned Vance Group? You ruined my career. My career? Carter laughed bitterly. I threw away my future because of you. You chased me first. And you were the one getting into my car every day. Haley screamed back. Neighbors heard everything through the thin apartment walls. The romance they'd risked everything for had vanished. All that remained was resentment. Meanwhile, I was sitting in my father's office. He slid a thick folder across the desk. I've delayed this long enough. These are the overseas branches. I flipped through the documents. Singapore. London. Toronto. Tokyo. Choose one, he said. I think you've earned a fresh start. I smiled. For once, I'd like people to know me as Chloe. Not someone's fiancé. My father smiled back. Done. I chose the Singapore branch. Before leaving, Audrey knocked on the office door. Miss Vance. There's someone downstairs asking to see you. Carter. I already told security to refuse him. I didn't even look up from the documents. Good. But. Audrey hesitated. He's been waiting outside since 6 this morning. I glanced at the clock. It was nearly 5 in the afternoon. 11 hours. He says he'll wait until you forgive him. I closed the folder. Tell security one thing. What should I tell them? I stood and looked out at the city skyline. Tell them they're free to let him wait. But he'll never see me again. Outside, Carter sat on the curb across from Vance Group headquarters. His suit was wrinkled. His beard had grown in. Every time the lobby doors opened, he stood up hopefully. Every time, it was someone else. As the sun set, security approached him. Mr. Carter. He sprang to his feet. Is Chloe coming? The guard shook his head. Miss Vance asked me to deliver a message. Carter's eyes lit up. The guard spoke calmly. She said you're welcome to wait. A smile slowly appeared on Carter's face. Then the guard finished. But you'll never see her again. The smile disappeared. For the first time, Carter realized something irreversible. He hadn't lost a wedding. He had lost the only person who had loved him unconditionally. And this time, there would be no second chance. Carter thought the worst was over. He was wrong. A month later, Vance Group's legal department completed its investigation. Although my father never abused his influence, every favor our family had quietly extended to Carter over the past 7 years disappeared overnight. The apartment his company had leased for him was reclaimed. The luxury car provided through a business partnership was taken back. Even several clients who had signed contracts because they trusted the Vance name quietly terminated their agreements. Without those accounts, Carter's former company suffered massive losses. The board released a public statement blaming him for damaging the company's reputation. He became the face of the scandal. No major firm would hire him. Every interview ended the same way. We'll call you. They never did. Haley's downfall was even faster. After leaving Vance Group, she tried applying to competing companies. Each HR department asked the same question. Weren't you the maid of honor who had an affair with the groom? Some were polite. Others laughed outright. One interviewer closed her resume after less than a minute. We don't hire people with integrity issues. She walked out in tears. Unable to pay her debts, she sold every luxury item Carter had ever bought her. The Louis Vuitton bag. The Cartier necklace. The crystal heels. Even then, it wasn't enough. Collection agencies called every day. Her credit was ruined. With no money left, Carter and Haley blamed each other constantly. You destroyed my life. Carter shouted. You pursued me first. Haley screamed back. You said Chloe would always forgive me. You chose me. One night, during another explosive argument, Haley admitted the truth. I never even loved you that much. I just couldn't stand that Chloe always had someone who adored her. She had better grades. Better friends. A better future. And even after I stole you, she still turned out better than me. Carter stared at her in disbelief. So, this was all jealousy? Haley laughed bitterly. And you were stupid enough to fall for it. That night, Carter packed his suitcase and walked out. Neither of them ever contacted the other again. 6 months later, someone spotted Haley working the front desk at a budget motel. She kept her head down whenever guests recognized her. Carter, meanwhile, worked long shifts as a commission-only salesman. The once confident executive now knocked on office doors begging strangers to buy products. Many recognized him. The runaway groom? Some laughed. Some shut the door in his face. A year after the cancelled wedding, I returned to the country for a board meeting. As I stepped out of Vance Group headquarters, I noticed a familiar man handing out promotional flyers in the summer heat. His shirt was soaked with sweat. His expensive watch was gone. His confident posture had disappeared. It was Carter. He looked up. Our eyes met. For a brief second, hope flickered across his face. Chloe. I simply nodded politely, the way one acknowledges a stranger. Then I walked past him. I didn't hate him anymore. I simply felt nothing. That expression hurt him more than any slap ever could. He sank onto the curb, clutching the stack of unsent flyers. He finally understood. The greatest punishment wasn't losing my family's wealth. It wasn't losing his career. It wasn't becoming a laughingstock. It was realizing that the woman who had loved him for 7 years had completely erased him from her heart. From that day forward, Carter remained just another forgotten passerby in my life. As for Haley, she became a lesson I never intended to repeat. Never mistake someone's kindness for